Hi everybody, Duncan here from Direct Drive Hub. Right, what we're going to have a look at today is your mirrors, use of mirrors and setting them up, etc. So mirror work is probably one of the most important parts of learning with your basic drive. So we want to make sure that we're introducing your mirror work and using the mirrors at the right time very early on, okay, in your journey of learning to drive. So what we're going to have a look at is setting the mirrors up correctly, making sure that we're seeing the correct things in those mirrors, having a look at when we use the mirrors, the timing of mirror checks, etc. So let's just start off, okay, with maybe setting the mirrors up. So as you're probably aware that we've got three mirrors that we need to think about. Our internal mirror, or rear view mirror as it's possibly called, and our door mirrors. So let's just think about those mirrors first of all before we actually have a look at them. The interior mirror or rear view mirror is the mirror that you're setting up, okay, which is the one in the car, and you're basically going to get a direct view of what's happening behind you from your interior mirror. And your interior mirror is actually made of flat glass. So what you're seeing in that interior mirror is giving you a true reflection of exactly what's happening behind you. Whereas your door mirrors are obviously on the outside of the vehicle, and they can be either manually adjusted or sometimes you've got a controller to adjust them depending on the car that you've got. The door mirrors or external mirrors are generally made of convex glass, okay, and what we actually mean by that is they've actually bent the glass inwards. So by doing that, it's allowing you to see more in those mirrors, but it will actually distort the view. So things generally will look slightly further away than what they are and slightly smaller. So we've got to be careful of that because obviously it can mislead, okay, if we're not careful. And I'll just go on to that a little bit more in a moment. So let's just have a look at the view that we're going to get from the mirror. Okay, so here we've got the view from our interior mirror, rear view mirror. So what we can actually see in this mirror is pretty much all four sides of the rear windscreen. So sometimes we are going to get things slightly obstructing our view, like head restraints, etc. But we're trying to set this mirror up so we are getting pretty much all four sides of the rear windscreen into view, and we are clearly looking up the road. So as I said, okay, this mirror is made of flat glass. So what we're seeing in this mirror is giving us a true reflection of what is going on behind us. So if you were to turn your head and actually physically look out the back window, distance, size of things, etc. would be exactly the same, okay, by looking in your interior mirror, okay? When we're adjusting the interior mirror, we really just want to place our left hand, okay, over the outer edges, okay, on the mirror, so we're not actually putting finger marks on the mirror. And basically all we need to do is just tilt the mirror down, up, side to side to get that adjustment. We want to be adjusting that mirror so we've got minimal head movement to look in it. So ideally it's just a case of moving your eyes slightly to the left so you can see what's okay going on in that mirror. Bit of a myth that goes on with adjusting mirrors, we get told a lot, okay, adjust your mirror so you have to move your head so you're making it obvious that you're checking your mirror. That is not, okay, what we should be doing. The thing is, if we adjust the mirrors so we have to make a physical head movement and make it harder for us to use them, then in my view, I think we're probably less likely to use them. We should be setting the mirrors up so it's easy for us to use them, not difficult. So adjust it so you can clearly see out the back by just slightly moving your eyes to the left, and that way it's making it nice and easy for you to see what's going on out of that interior mirror. Okay, so here we have the right-hand door mirror. So what we can see in the view of the right-hand door mirror is if we look at the inside edge of the mirror, we can just see a little bit of the back edge of our car. So just in that bottom left-hand corner there, we've just got the rear door handle in view. But we're getting a nice wide shot, of the road on the right-hand side of us. And then we're even picking up the pavement and stuff over on the right-hand side. We can actually see the horizon of the road is roughly running along the middle of the mirror. So this is generally, the view that we want to be seeing in that right-hand door mirror. Again, when adjusting the mirror, we want to adjust it. So again, we're making it easy to use the mirror. So no major head movement. Again, eye movement or a slight turn of the head to the right to be able to check that interior mirror. So that's generally what we're looking for, in the right-hand door mirror. Okay, so here we've got the left-hand door mirror. So the view in the left-hand door mirror is very similar, to the right-hand door mirror. Just obviously we're looking at the left-hand side of the road. So as you can see, I'm actually parked up at the side of the road at the moment. So because I'm in a parked position, we're not picking up any of the road on the left-hand side. So what we've got here is the grass verge and the pavement on the left. But again, if you're looking at that inside edge, we're just picking up the side of the car, the bottom right-hand corner of the mirror. We're just picking up the door handle of the car. Horizon roughly running along the middle of the mirror. So we've got a clear view of what's on the left-hand side of our vehicle. So that is an ideal view that we're going to get from the left-hand door mirror. Okay, so we've just had a look at the view that we're getting from our three mirrors, our interior mirror and the door mirrors. So if you remember going back to when you first started, on the original, one of the first videos that you would have seen, in our series of videos is the Cockpit Drill. So when you're setting up your mirrors, at the start, when you first get in the car behind the wheel and you're setting up your mirrors, that's what you should be setting the mirrors up to see, is that kind of view in your mirror. So you'll find that you probably will need to adjust your mirrors each time, because the way people are sitting in the vehicle will make a difference to how the mirrors. So for example, your driving instructor would have maybe had the seat further back than you have, or maybe slightly further forward than you have. So when you've got into the car and obviously adjusted your seat, that's going to affect the position of your mirrors. So just remember as well, when you go to adjust your mirrors, it's always best to adjust your seating position first, and then once you've got your seat in the position that you need it in, then adjust your mirrors. Otherwise you may find that you have to go back and adjust your mirrors again if you've done your mirrors first. And remember, again, safety reason, it can easily happen that when we start to drive and we move away and we check our mirrors, for whatever reason, we might find that they're not actually adjusted exactly how we wanted them to. So we shouldn't be making these adjustments on the move as we're driving. If that is the case, you should be then finding a nice, safe place to park the car, get the car safe and secure, and then readjust your mirrors if needed. Okay, so there's adjusting your mirrors. So let's think about using the mirrors. So I've already discussed, there with you that the interior mirror is made of flat glass. Your door mirrors are made of convex glass. So it's going to give you, a different kind of view. As we said, the interior mirror is giving you a true picture of what's happening behind, whereas your door mirrors generally make things look a little bit further away and a little bit smaller. So ideally when we're using our mirrors, we're going to use our mirrors in pairs. So for example, we might be need to check the right-hand door mirror. We really should check the interior mirror first, then go on to checking the right-hand door mirror, or the interior mirror first and then go on to check the left-hand door mirror. Now the reason why we want to check the interior mirror first is because it is giving us that true picture. Now generally what happens, the way our brains are wired up, is we tend to make decisions on the image that we first see. So the problem is, if we went to check our door mirror first, as we've already said, that makes things look smaller and further away. So we're making a decision based on an incorrect image. So we could get the timing of what we're going to do slightly wrong because of that. Whereas if we went to check the interior mirror first, that is giving us a true picture of what's happening behind. So we're going to make our decisions based on a true reflection of what's going on. So we should be using these mirrors in pairs, always starting with your interior mirror and then going on to the appropriate door mirror that we need to check. So when do we check the mirrors? Well, we can put 90% of your mirror checking into 3 categories. So if we concentrate on this 90% first and get ourselves using the mirrors, okay, in this 90%, then we've nearly cracked, okay, our mirror use. So the 3 categories, okay, that we should be checking mirrors in is before we give a signal, before we alter our road position for any reason, or before we change speed. So signals, indicating, using your indicator. So we might be taking a road to the left or taking a road off to the right. So if we're going to be turning left, then we will check our interior mirror first, then our left door mirror. So we're going to have a look to see what's directly behind us in our interior mirror. Generally what we're looking for is making sure that there's nothing too close behind. The last thing we'd want to do is to suddenly alter our speed, suddenly slow down with a vehicle too close behind us. Left-hand door mirror, again, maybe looking for things like cyclists coming up that left-hand side. So we're just checking the interior and the left-hand door mirror to make sure that everything is looking safe for us to be able to do that left turn. If things are then safe, then obviously we could then go on to giving a left signal to let people know that's our intention. So the same with if we're turning right. Okay, if we're intending to take a road on the right, we will check our interior mirror first, again for the same reason, to find out what's going on directly behind us, making sure that perhaps there's nothing too close, and then going on to checking the right-hand door mirror. So perhaps looking for things like vehicles overtaking, of that nature. So again, we wouldn't want to start to move over or turn right if we had something about to overtake us on that right-hand side. So that interior mirror will give us that central view. That right-hand door mirror, okay, will give us that view looking over on the right-hand side of the car, as we saw when we had a look at the view in the mirror. If things then are looking all clear, then we can go on to give a right signal to show other road users that we intend to turn right. Excuse me, altering your road position. So we might need to alter our road position, okay, for many reasons, okay, whilst we're driving. It might be that we have some parked cars on the left-hand side, so we need to move over to the right to be able to pass those parked cars, and then move back into the left once we've gone past those cars. We might need to do a lane change, okay, so we might need to go from a left-hand lane and move over into a right-hand lane, or a right-hand lane over into a left-hand lane. So, you know, there could be many reasons why we need to alter our road position. Before we alter our road position for any reason, all right, we need to make sure it's going to be safe to do that. So if we're going to be altering our road position to the right, we need to check the interior mirror first to see what's directly behind us, and then that right-hand door mirror to see what's on that right-hand side of us. If by checking those mirrors we can see it's safe, we haven't got any problems there, then we can think about moving to the right. Same with going left then, okay? So if we're going to be moving to the left, checking that interior mirror, and then that left-hand door mirror. So seeing what's behind us, and then what's on that left-hand side of us. And if it's nice and clear, then obviously we can think about moving over to the left. So it doesn't matter how little you're going to intend to move to the right or the left, okay? Whether you're just going to be moving 6 inches to the right or 6 feet to the right, whatever that case may be. Before we make that movement, it is very important that we check those mirrors first. Last one then, okay, is before we change speed. So we're talking about before slowing down or before speeding up. Now generally, okay, with the speed change, providing we're not altering our road position, we're maintaining the same road position in the road, we only really need to check the interior mirror for this. So the best way to think about it, if you're going to be taking pressure off the accelerator, then that's going to cause the car to slow down. So just check that interior mirror, okay, to see what's happening directly behind you. The last thing we want to do, okay, is to slow down, and particularly slow down quite aggressively if we've got something too close behind us, because there is a chance then, if we slow down without any warning and there is something driving too close, then they could end up going into the back end of you. So quite important to check that. Again, you could be slowing down for any reason, okay? You're coming up to a junction, you know, you're coming up to some traffic lights that are on red, so you know you're going to be slowing down. So a good thing to do, okay, as soon as you see a hazard in front of you, like traffic lights that might change, or you might see a vehicle in front starting to brake and you see their brake lights, a good routine to get into, as soon as you see these hazards in front of you, go and have a quick check in your interior mirror straight away. So that way, if you do need to take action and you do need to slow down, you're already prepared, you know what's going on behind you. Speeding up as well, okay, we want to check that interior mirror for speeding up. So again, I don't know, we may be coming into a piece of the road, okay, that the speed limit's increasing, so we might be going from a 30-mile-an-hour road and the speed limit might have increased to 40 or 50 mile an hour. So we can see those speed signs coming up, and we know that we've got to pass the speed signs first before we increase the speed. So as soon as you see the speed signs and you're approaching those speed signs, check your interior mirror. One of the things, okay, you're really looking for there, okay, is to make sure that no vehicles behind you are intending to overtake you. The last thing you want to do is to increase your speed if you've got a vehicle overtaking. That could be quite dangerous. They've made a judgment to pass you at the speed that you're traveling. If you start to increase your speed, then that might give them less time to pass you and less time to get back into the left once they have gone past you, particularly if there's oncoming traffic. So it could make it dangerous to them, and it could also make it dangerous for you. So if you have got a vehicle overtaking and you've checked your mirror and you've seen that, then the safe thing for you to do would be to just maintain your speed at what it was, allow that vehicle to pass. Once the vehicle's passed, check your mirror again to see if you can increase your speed. Okay, so there are the main times, okay, that you're going to check your mirrors. Yes, there is other times that mirror checking will come in, which we will have a look at later on in future videos. I just want to get you to really start to think about, you know, the main, as I say, 90% at the moment, because if we can start to get you to check these mirrors as a good habit in those times, it will start to build your awareness up. And then when it comes to obviously checking mirrors and other times and that, you'll find that because you've got that a good awareness, you'll be going to check mirrors anyway, but we can actually certainly focus on those other mirror checks later on. So just remember then, okay, when you are checking the mirrors at these times, okay, they must be checked before you take those actions, before signaling, before altering road position, before changing speed. It is no good checking your mirrors as you're doing it. All you're going to do is see the problem that you're potentially going to cause, or checking your mirrors after you've done it, because again, chances are all you're going to see is possibly the devastation that you've actually left behind. The point of checking mirrors is to make sure it is safe to do what you want to be doing in the next moment. So we must check the mirrors first to make sure it's going to be safe to carry out whatever the routine or maneuver it is that we want to do. Okay, so that pretty much covers it. We've got on our junction videos and stuff, okay, when we're dealing with junctions and stuff, okay, we'll be talking about the routines and the mirrors that we're using with junctions. So on that, on those videos, we'll actually put some views together for you so you can actually see what we're looking for in those mirrors. But hopefully that's given you a good idea, okay, of how to set your mirrors up and when we should be using the mirrors. Okay, we'll see you next time on the next video. Bye for now.